Perfectionism has been lying to you, okay? It has been telling you that you have to be ready, you got to feel confident, you need to know the whole plan, you know how to do everything. You got to know how to do it all from the very start. And friend, lies. That is just not true, but we believe it hook, line, and sinker. But what happens when you actually think about all of the possibility that can happen if you weren't trying to be perfect and instead just started being the one who shows up even under imperfect conditions? I'm talking about when it's not pretty, it's not polished, and it's not perfect. So, friend, I want to tell you what happened when I did it imperfectly. Okay. So, let's really get into it. If you are new here, I'm Letitia, your identity shift coach, and make sure that you're subscribed because we have conversations like this every single day. Because so many of my high performing clients that I work with struggle with perfectionism because it has sold us a dream. It makes us think that we have to start feeling perfect in order to start doing anything. That you're supposed to just feel ready. You're supposed to feel confident. You're supposed to know the whole plan. You are supposed to have all of the resources when you start. You must have it all figured out. And friend, none of that is true. And it really sets us up to think that we can control the situation. We can control the people, places, and all the things, okay? When that is just not true, friend. We're never going to have the full plan. Even if someone gave you an exact blueprint of how it was supposed to go down, that does not mean that real life is not going to intervene. Have you watched HGTV? Do you see what happens when people are building a home and the things that do not go as planned? Your design changes, or the materials that you thought that you were going to have, suddenly it's not going to make it in time and now you got to pick new materials. There are so many variables that can change along the way. So I'm not saying don't have a plan, because friend, we got to have a plan, we got to know what we're doing here. But don't stop at waiting to have a plan that is foul proof, because nothing is life proof. There are going to be things that happen and you're going to have to adjust and be flexible enough to arise to the challenge and overcome it, because we are overachievers and we working towards that thing. You know what I mean? But perfectionism often sets us up to sit still. It often sets us up to think that if we just hang out in the preparation stage, if we just learn more, if we learn about every single piece and part, then we can actually start doing the thing. When truly, we learn so much in action. It is not just the preparing, the planning, and getting the strategy down. It is in action that we truly learn so much. When truth be told, friend, people have done it with less. There are so many examples of whatever it is that you want to do. There is someone who started with much more of a disadvantage than where you may be starting today. So, perfectionism just sells us this false idea of what needs to be in place before we get started, or what's supposed to happen when we are in the middle of doing the dang on thing. Because let's not think that perfectionism is only at the start of a journey, it can show up at any given point in time. And as soon as that perfectionism shows up, and meets you where you are, where you're standing with all of the doubts, with the learning curve, with not a hope and a prayer of how this is even going to work out in the first place. Because times it bees like that. When it meets you, when you are standing in the messy middle, low key, you ready to quit right now as we speak. 'Cause Lord knows I've been there. Friend, listen, I'm in the messy middle of it right here and right now. And I can't allow that narrative to be what's constantly playing in the background. I set out on this journey to make a YouTube video every day for 1 year. Mind you, I'm the same person who has had a fear of being seen basically my whole life. So the audacity of this goal within itself is crazy. But here we are because for what it is that I have on my heart to do to really be able to connect with as many hearts as I can, to be able to help someone shift their perspective, to see the light of day, even when it doesn't look like there's any light in sight, to be able to touch someone's heart and make a difference, to help them fall in love with themselves and love the life that they live. Friend, I cannot do that from the sidelines or in the background or hoping and praying that somehow miraculously this is going to happen without me being out here to be seen to show it. And listen, don't think I didn't try to find another way, okay? Because I spent a lot of time trying to do exactly that just to end up right here before you. So, but here we are. And technically, today is day 124. So, can we just listen? Strange girl, Strange. Give it two snaps and the twirl, okay? I'm proud of myself. But let's not think that this has been perfect. It has not. There have been days I didn't want to show up, days I didn't want to do it, and I did it anyway. There were days when I made a video and thought it was going to be all of that and then some, and it had crickets. There's been days when I made videos and even I didn't like it. I didn't think it was good enough for whatever reason. So, this journey has not been perfect at all, but that's not why I'm doing it. This is me learning how to be seen on camera. This is me getting comfortable as this version of myself. This is me figuring out how to communicate my message in a way that is clear and connects. This is me figuring out my flow, what I like, what I don't like, what feels natural for me. This is me figuring out YouTube. This is me learning and becoming in real time. Straight up, no chaser. Okay. This has not been perfect, but one thing that really stood out to me, one day I was listening to Brendon Burchard talk about perfectionism, and he said the root word is perfect and not perfect, but perfect. It means to perfect. And that is where we get it twisted. We think that we have to be perfect in order to start something, in order to do something. Whatever that dream is that's on your heart, it's not calling you to be perfect in order to do it. It is calling you to be willing to perfect yourself as you do it. That's what perfection is really asking. You don't learn how to perfect something without practice, without putting in the reps, without putting in your own special brew of tea, your time, effort, and energy. It is you being in practice to perfect this aspect of yourself, to bring this new identity to life. And anytime that I start to feel resistant to that, anytime I don't feel like it, or I don't think it's going to be good, or I'm worried about things that are way beyond my control, I got to bring it back. And I have to remind myself that's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for me. And I'm learning and growing as I do it. This is me perfecting my craft. This is me perfecting the identity of the woman who is successful in content creation in a way that supports people and meets them in their darkest hour and helps them to rise. That is why I'm doing it, not to be perfect, because ain't nothing about me perfect. This journey ain't gonna be perfect. But that is how we perfect. Success is really nothing but your willingness to continue to learn as you meet failure after failure, as you meet the delays, the detours, the difficulties, as you meet all of that and you continue to learn and grow and you continue to keep moving forward. That's what success is. It's you being willing to go on that journey of the ups and downs, the peaks and the valleys, and still continue to put one foot in front of the other until you meet success along that journey. And you do not get there by being perfect. You can't, because it's impossible to be perfect. It's not real, but you can continue to perfect your craft. Steph Curry did not start out being the Steph Curry that we know today. He had to perfect his craft. I remember seeing him shooting 3 points from half court, from the logo, and people being like, first of all, that's not what we do here. And now everybody is shooting from half court. Everybody wants to shoot from the logo. State Farm got commercials about it, okay? But he had to perfect that craft. You seeing him practicing shooting the ball from the tunnel entrance, okay, that's the practice. It's him putting in those reps even when we are not around to capture the moment. It is him. It what we are seeing is the results of him continuing to move forward after injuries, after loss. It is him continuing to perfect his craft. We just get to be lucky enough to see him do that game in and game out now, and it looks effortless. But he did not start out that way. So, friend, just remember perfection is not a starting point. It really is something that you get closer to as you reach those moments of success. But it's not meant to be a place that you start from, because so many people with so much success, they have started from very humble beginnings. And this YouTube channel is no different. One day when we are all keying and looking back and talking about my early videos, my early thumbnails, okay, me trying to do this thing, no, correction, me doing this thing from the space that I started from, and then being able to look back and see how the glow up unfolded, friend, that is where it's at. We are simply so many times just in the before of our story. We want to be in that after so bad. We want to be at that finish line so bad. We want to skip over everything. We want to fast forward, okay? We don't want to be in the journey. We just want to get to the finish line and celebrate. And that is just not the way that any of this works. So, let's release that need to be perfect and just continue to focus in on our progress. Okay, wait, let me give you some steps. Let me tell you what I have actually done, friend. Okay. So, the first thing that I have had to do is to remind myself of who I want to be, because so much of what we really want, it starts with our identity. And every time I start to feel like I don't want to do this, or if I'm having doubts, or paying too close attention to the metrics and it's not matching what I think it should be at a certain stage. When I start getting caught up in that, I have to remind myself that is just my old identity trying to keep me safe. She doesn't want my feelings getting hurt in this process because listen, friend, it's a very humbling process. YouTube has been like, girl, you learn it, okay? Let's not forget. I'm sorry. You know I play too much. But I have to just remind myself when I start to feel that resistance, when I start to feel the doubts or the fears creeping in, that is just my old identity reminding me we are just trying to protect you and keep you safe. But really, I have to also be like, girl, it's okay. The new identity that's calling us forward, she said that it's safe to go this way. It is safe to practice another video. It is safe to show up again. And it's just like me doing these videos. I'm at day 124. I feel so different than I did at day 1 or day 20 or day 30. I feel like I've been doing this like wait a minute, like we get ready to like celebrate. Like I'm a pro at this thing. You have those moments of feeling really cocky and then you get humbled and be like, "Wait a minute, bring it on back." But I have to remind myself that the version of me who is successful at this, she's just calling me forward. And every time that I sit down to make a video and I successfully press record, that is me moving closer to her, to the identity of me who has it. And anytime that I start feeling like I want to slide on back to where it's comfortable, that's just my old identity trying to keep me safe. So, friend, where is your old identity just trying to pull you back to your comfort zone where things are familiar? And it's just you being able to say, girl, I see you, but yet we still moving forward. And step two is creating safety by practicing. Because every time you tell your old identity, girl, we moving forward anyway, and you decide to do the thing that you know you need to do that's going to help you get to where you want to be, that is you creating safety. But I built her. I built her every day that I pressed record, every day that I did something, regardless of how I felt, or regardless of being scared, or regardless of not getting it right. I showed up anyway. So if you can just continue to practice what it is that you know that you should be doing, practice, friend. Keep putting in your reps. Keep doing the thing that you've been wanting to avoid that you know is going to get you there. Because every time you do, that's you casting a vote for the future version of you who already has it. That is you being her right now. You don't have to wait to be her. She needs you to be her right now. And you do that by practicing every day, doing something that is what she would do. And the version of me who has a successful YouTube channel, she would press record every day. And the third thing that I did is to swap out perfection for progress. Friend, I'm in this for 365 days, friend, okay? We only at day 124. We still got a ways to go, okay? Somebody cue Cassie up in this joint because we got a ways to go. I'm sorry, my brain, it works in song lyrics and movie statements. I don't know what to say. But if you continue to focus in on trying to be perfect, it sucks all of the joy out of you putting in the reps. And we forget that fun is something that we are allowed to have on the way throughout the journey. It is not just the party that you get to have when you celebrate the milestone or when you celebrate that you finally achieved that goal. It is you being enjoying the process as you go. So release the need to be perfect and focus in on the progress. I give myself milestones to look forward to throughout this process. And I celebrate it as I go. And even in the moments when I don't want to, I'm like, girl, it's day such and such, girl. You know how far you came? Do you know how far you've actually come? We are not stopping now. Oh, no. We almost to the middle of this thing, okay? So give yourself milestones that you can look forward to because if I was just to focus on the fact that I decided to make videos for one whole year, 365 days, friend, I would have quit a long time ago, okay? But giving myself something to look forward to remind me as I go that I'm making progress, I'm moving forward. And even if it's not perfect, I'm still moving. I haven't quit. And that deserves to be celebrated at every stage. So, friend, let's release this need to be perfect. It's as if perfectionism has dropped us off at the end of the movie and we're not satisfied because we don't even know what happened in the beginning or how we got here. So, how can you really rejoice in something when you don't even know how you got there? Have you ever watched a movie from the end and never seen anything else? There's so many questions. Tell me, are you like me? Because I don't like watching a movie if I can't catch it from the beginning. If I can't hit the rewind, then I don't want to see it because I'm gonna have too many questions. I don't know. I don't know people's backstory. I don't know how we started. I don't know what the connections are that I should be making. How do I figure out who did it? Like, it's too many questions. And perfectionism has a tendency to drop us off at the end. And we want to know how this main character changed their life. We want to know where they started, what the turning point was, and we want to celebrate with them at the end. But the celebration is never as good if you don't know the journey that it took to actually get here. It's the same thing with you, friend. So let me give you a journal prompt real quick. Where has perfectionism been faking me out of my own progress? And what is one imperfect step I can take today anyway? Yes, friend. Yes, this is us setting perfectionism to the side because we are in the process of perfecting our craft. And that is progress. Oh, friend, write that down. I just came up with that right now. Okay, that was good. Okay, and then tell me in the comments. What is one thing you have been waiting to be ready for? Drop it in the comments, friend. Let's bring it into the light and let's move forward from there. Because, of course, I want you to tell me what is also your next step. Okay, friend? Because we're calling it out together and we're moving forward together. Ooh, friend, I have absolutely loved making this video for you. And I hope that you loved it and had some key keys with me as we did all this. I am so excited for you, and I can't wait to see your comments below. I'll be chit chatting with you there, okay, friend? Listen, to know me is to know I love myself so much. I don't play about me. And if you hang out with me long enough, you will love yourself so much that you won't play about you either. Okay, friend? I will meet you in the comments, and I will see you in the next video tomorrow.